Hello everyone, I'm NTom64.
And I'm here.
Yes, that's THD for you. Always here, but more so in body rather than spirit and mind. And yes, welcome at long last to our Kingdom Hearts 3 playthrough. I'm a little bit nervous right now because this may not have been 13 years in the making, but it sure has been 13 years in the waiting, if you know what I'm saying. We're going to have a little bit of a recap of all the KH games here in chronological order, not release order, because Nomura doesn't really do things by halves.
Yeah, that's for sure. Make sure to spread it all over multiple consoles, and don't forget, Recoded was a thing. Maybe, I don't know. You can catch up on that game if you like. You know.
The thing is, Kingdom Hearts 3, it has a lot to live up to. For some people, it hasn't. For me, I think it did what it needed to. I don't think it excelled in it, and I do think its Metacritic score, being like a couple of points below Kingdom Hearts 2, is warranted, but there's a lot of devil in the details, and we'll get into that as we move forward. But man, it's right here, for example, it's hard to believe this series started in 2002 and is still going strong. Did you think at the time the combination of Disney and Final Fantasy, less so Final Fantasy as the series would progress, but this combination would ever be as popular as it turned out to be?
I mean, nobody really could have guessed it, because I remember reading about previews for Kingdom Hearts 1. Everybody's like, whoa, Disney and Final Fantasy, that's so weird. But, you know, again, over time, the series really kind of built its fan base. And I am going to be honest with you, I think when they did start to introduce the organization shit, that's when I think the fan base really kind of, you know, the fandom for Kingdom Hearts became as popular as it did. Because obviously so much has followed it since then. You know me, I've always preferred the first game in terms of how they did approach it. It is a weird combo, but it does work to a degree. But as time went on, it kind of became its own thing, which is for the best and for the worst in some cases. And you guys, of course, know my many, many thoughts about the direction of Kingdom Hearts as a whole for that. No doubt, which I will get back into here as we do this, but
I've missed this, mate. Us doing I hate referring to the other games as spin-offs, but it's nice to have a proper mainline console game again. 0.2 came close. You haven't played that, have you?
I haven't. I didn't really see a point. I believe they've introduced it, brought it back in the different various contemplations for that. Because, you know, before this came out, they actually did a admittedly pretty handy Kingdom Hearts story so far combo pack, which had all the major games, all the major cutscenes, things like that. So you can catch up. I believe Point 2 was in that, but I haven't played it, no.
Fair dues, mate, fair dues. Also, I'd just like to draw attention to the fact you said contemplations instead of compilations. Man, you really do have affection for this franchise, don't you?
Affection, I suppose. It's more deep-seated hatred than anything else, but I guess we'll see.
Well, for all the games Helldragon and I didn't get around to doing a playthrough of, and to be honest, we didn't really need to cover all of them, like Recoded and so on. Speranda and I did kind of a prologue marathon of all the Kingdom Hearts games to catch up on and just refresh our memories before this playthrough started. That's called The Guiding Key. You can check that out on the channel. So I guess this is the sequel to that, and oh man, Dream Drop Distance. This is when the plot became really divisive for a lot of people, I would say. Even I was on board up until the time travel thing was introduced. But I would say they kind of reconcile the time travel quite well in this game. They make it make sense, and they make even a diehard fan like me be like, okay, yeah, this works. This is fun.
Well, I mean, they made it work somehow for that. And again, it's just so much to get into here. If you came to this playthrough to listen to me complain, don't worry, I have a lot of things to complain about, but I will be fair. I will tell you about things I think are cool for that, but, you know, give a fair, balanced viewpoint. But yeah, I've got my opinions.
Okay. We're unfortunately unable to show you the fancy-dancy other CGI opening with Face My Fears by Utada Hikaru and Skrillex, so apologies for that, but it is kind of blocked worldwide. Well, at least it was at the time I recorded this footage, but oh man, dearly beloved, it's getting me hot, palpitating.
I think it really is a sign of things to come in Kingdom Hearts 3. When you first boot up the game, you get through the cutscene that is blocked worldwide across YouTube, thanks Square. And then in the upper right-hand corner, there's a little before you stream button that tells you, by the way, we own the game and we can take it down at any time. I'm like, really? You really had to do that? Come on.
Well, anywho, we're going to be playing on Proud mode here, which means I only have to find a certain amount of lucky emblems, more of which later. And for all the people who've followed HFC since 2008, roughly around the time we did the first Kingdom Hearts playthrough, anyone who's found us since then, anyone who's like gone away and come back, I just want to thank you for being here right now, and especially for any Kingdom Hearts fans, whether they be fans of HFC and our playthroughs or otherwise, who may have passed away since the series began in 2002. I just want to say, this one's for you, and I hope we do the playthrough justice.
Well, after something solemn like that, it's going to be hard for me to shit on the game, but don't worry, I'm sure I'll give it my best shot.
Well, here's a fancy CGI thing for you to nitpick and whatnot, mate. Ooh, look at this, it's like the fucking Grease City from Sonic Unleashed.
Well, okay, first off, I haven't played Sonic Unleashed 2. That's way deeper than my actual voice is, so you gotta be at least accurate with how I sound, okay?
Oh, I see. Is that a new way to mock you, is it? Like, just, I mock you by doing your voice, but I give you a sexier voice.
I don't know how to feel. I'm like, oh no, that's annoying, but at the same time, kinda hot.
Yeah, anywho. So this, I think, was the very first thing shown off, like, behind closed doors, obviously, because you know how, like, Square is and whatnot. I think it was called, like, Cable Town, affectionately, by fans who had like been following along with the news and whatnot. We unfortunately don't get to run around this world, but it is featured very heavily towards the end of the game, and we will be discussing like trailer spoilers and whatnot. So where these two characters, if we pan down far enough, is Scarlet Ad Kylum, which is a very interesting place, and I'll leave it at that for now.
Of course I have.
Yeah, it does have a translation that is Latin. We'll get to that later because, as you know, I've got to make my JoJo references, and there's actually quite a few in this game I like.
Oh yeah, very much so, mate, very much so. So, in case it wasn't obvious, this is young Xehanort and young Ericus. They're currently under the tutelage of an unnamed Keyblade Master who we never see, we never get to meet. Unfortunately, Nomura said now that the Xehanort Saga is kind of done, spoilers, this is the game that kind of closes it out, he says he doesn't really want to like go back anymore, which is a shame because I feel like there's a lot of young Xehanort's history that isn't like explained. Like, why did his eye colour change? How did he go from Destiny Islands to being in Scarlet Ad Kylum? Stuff like that.
Who started the Keyblade War?
I mean, you could explain so much more for that, but with the way Nomura writes a series, at this point, I really don't care. I mean, I'm not a big fan of young Xehanort or Xehanort in most of his many same-fagging kind of forms. Just not really that great of a character, in my opinion, so who cares about young Xehanort's past? It's over, it's done with at this point.
Care, but I want the lore, and I need more games. I need them. Give them to me.
Don't worry, he'll keep writing backwards until the beginning of time when Xehanort is a paramecium in the primordial soup.
Don't put it past Nomura to make, like, Kingdom Hearts Spore. It will happen, don't you worry. Oh, speaking of Xehanort, the gazing eye. Have you watched Kingdom Hearts back cover?
I have not. I know there have been actually a few other features here and there that do cover some stuff that happened before Birth by Sleep, before the main Kingdom Hearts series for that. But, I mean, you know, me at this point, I just kind of want to see, like, the last bit of the Xehanort Saga come to its conclusions. Anything past that, I'm really on the fence right now, but as of right now, no, I haven't seen it.
Well, if you decide to go forward with Kingdom Hearts, maybe give that a watch, because, you know, without giving too much away, it might be a bit important in the next saga and whatnot.
I mean, I know there are a few things here and there that are covered in, like, browser and mobile games that I haven't really touched, so...
I am amazed they haven't, like, put out a proper chess set like this. Yeah, it may be in the works. You know, we're recording this at the tail end of March 2019, so...
Well, I mean, they have a few other things in this game that I hope they make toys out of, because I would probably buy some of these, I'll be honest with you.
We're talking about the mechs from the Toy Story world, right?
We're talking about the mechs from the Toy Story world, yeah, and...
the Station of Awakening never gets old. And look at the stained glass. Technology has advanced so much that it's actually properly see-through now, which is gorgeous.
Yeah, I mean, like, I know this game, I still feel on some levels that Kingdom Hearts 3 should have been on PS3, should have finished it there. But on PS4, it does give them the ability to do, emulate certain parts. Like, when we go to different Disney worlds, they will reenact bits of the movie, and it looks fucking amazing. Like, it looks so good. And I was just sitting there, I'm like, Is this on a console? Wow, this is actually really nice.
Did I put in the Blu-ray for Toy Story Between the Toys instead? Don't touch mirrors, you should have learned this by now, Sora. Fuck! Huh, so that's how puberty works. Interesting.
Yeah, just leave him back there. This is a really slow opening sequence, though, kind of like, again, harking back to the beginning of the game. At this point, you're kind of just basically, you're going to choose your starting setup, but Kingdom Hearts, being naturally cryptic as shit as it is, does not tell you what each decision specifically does. So if you're trying to go for a particular build, maybe I want to go melee, maybe I want to go magic, you're not really gonna know. Like, right now, they don't give you that hint, so we're gonna have to wait until the strategies come out to know what does what.
I don't know, I feel it was, self-explanatory enough. Like, if you want magic, you'll go for, like, Mickey. If you want straight-up attack, you'll go for, Riku versus Sora over here. You'll notice that all of these scenes are from Kingdom Hearts 1 right now. It's actually kind of jarring because, the portrait for KH2 Sora is new, but they just used the stock artwork for KH1 Sora when you were running about as him.
Oh, really?
So we have Wisdom here, we have Vitality, let's see what this one does. A rugged body that will endure even the toughest of challenges.
I will give that to some degree, based on what they're saying, you can kind of get an idea as to what they might want. Like, I was expecting Wisdom, Power, or Balance, but it's Wisdom, Vitality, Balance. Like, I'm not even sure what that means. What does it mean in terms of abilities or your stat build or something like that? It's not enough information, I think.
Well, since I'm playing on Proud, I'm going to go for Vitality, because I will probably need to last a little bit longer than the average player, because I'm not that great, as you guys should know from watching our Kingdom Hearts playthroughs by now. But, that being said, I wouldn't even say, like, KH3 is all that hard on Proud. There is a free critical mode update in the works right now that they're tweaking to not only be challenging but fun as well. And I think Nomura, or like one of the directors of KH3, has said if you like defending, this is going to be a thing for you. And they're not like putting out like another Final Mix game anymore. They're just going to release that as one big pack of DLC, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah, that's probably going to be the best in this scenario. There's a lot of things that went into Kingdom Hearts development that we're going to talk about as the game goes on for that. Difficulty is a good place to start. This game is really easy. I did play it on the standard mode for that, and I only really lost by missing 2 QuickTime events, and that was it. Like, that's the only time I lost in that game. I got juggled all over the universe with how the combat works, but I was still able to bail out in the end for that, and I even hear Proud Mode itself isn't really that tough compared to the other games. Yeah, so I guess it's good to get that critical mode, but you have to understand, guys, since this game came out, you know, Kingdom Hearts 2 came out, there have been so many action games since then, and I'm coming into this having played and beaten Devil May Cry 5, so you're going to get some unfavorable comparisons, okay?
Yeah, that is kind of unfavorable. It's sort of unfair as well, because Kingdom Hearts 3 is not trying to be a proper character action game. It is an action RPG, where you level up your stats and then you hit things with a metal key-shaped stick, you know?
Well, yeah, but I mean, it is going to share a few things, so I think some comparisons are okay.
Is this who you are, Helldragon?
Fuck, I don't know. I identify as a copter, personally.
I love that one picture of Sora and Bambi. Yeah, I rarely used Bambi. Tinkerbell was the KH1 summon I went for, more than anything.
Spoiler, I did not use any summons in this game. I just didn't. I forgot, and I was too busy doing my thing.
There is one that I thought was pretty boss, but besides that, no, I don't think the summons were all that great in this game. Big, huge callback to the opening of Kingdom Hearts 1 here. You'll notice that Sora's not running towards Riku this time. It is just light, so what does that say? Probably nothing. It's fine. Next scene.
And then the dumbass drowns because he ran to a tidal wave, of course.
Well, he's an islander, you know. I'm not trying to stereotype islanders, but Sora's kind of a dummy in this game. I mean, he's always been a dummy, but the older he gets, the less wise he becomes, it seems.
Now, this is a nice place that he got teleported to, and I guarantee it probably won't happen later on in the game again. No.
What are you, high? This is literally heaven. He would never go to heaven. Ever, ever, ever. Alright, mate. The most important question I need to ask you right now. How did the game feel to you when it came to combat?
I would guess I'd have to say my best description for the combat in this game, it's Kingdom Hearts 2, but better. And I don't mean that as much as you think I do.
Okay.
They have done some stuff to make it quality of life changes to make it better to play. Dodging is a regular thing, thank God. Blocking feels a little bit more reliable. It does have some great additions in terms of how you can maneuver around the battlefield that I feel are vital. But it does really feel a lot like Kingdom Hearts 2, and it does have some of the drawbacks. There's a lot of it is kind of memorizing how attacks work as opposed to reactive dodging it. You know, you get in games like Bayonetta, God of War, shit like that. It does play better, ultimately. Like, in the long run, I still think it plays better than Kingdom Hearts 2, so I will give it that.
My take on it is Kingdom Hearts 3 is less technical than Kingdom Hearts 2, even without, like, you know, QuickTime events. It's a lot more flashy, and you can take that how you will. I like it, per se. I like a bit of a you know, flash and style in my combat. A lot of people prefer Kingdom Hearts 2's style, and that's fine. I feel, like I said, Kingdom Hearts 2 is more technical, and it does have a lot more depth. But if we're talking in terms of, like, sheer fun, I think Kingdom Hearts 3 strikes a nice balance. For me, it felt like the middle ground between, like, Kingdom Hearts 2 and 0.2, a fragmentary passage. It's nowhere near as floaty as, say, Dream Drop Distance, so I really don't get the complaints in that regard. But yeah, it's not as technical as Kingdom Hearts 2, but it's also not as floaty as, say, the handheld tile, so it's a nice medium.
There were some boss fights I really did enjoy in this game. I felt some of them were a little ridiculous in terms of, because again, the game places a lot of emphasis on bosses having long, uninterruptible combos, especially near the end of the game, that you just have to sit there and block it. That's the only thing you can do. You can't dodge out of it, things like that, and I think that's kind of a shitty way to make them harder, but as a whole, I do feel they did improve a lot in terms of, you know, how the game feels, how floaty it is, things like that. Less reaction commands, more specific ones, but we'll get more into those as we go on.
Yeah, we need some actual gameplay. First, did you notice we got fire, and for the first time in the Kingdom Hearts series, a water spell?
Yeah, like, I was actually really surprised to get water. I proceeded to not use it, but I was really surprised that we got water.
I really like water, actually. Like water, Watara, Wartega. It kind of reminds me of, do you know where I'm going with this before I say it?
No, I don't.
Decline of video gaming.
I suspect you have already noticed this.
Oh yeah, I remember the most powerful water elemental, Waterga!
And then the dude just slips on it. Oh, damn slippy slides. Anywho, this is directly taken from the, I think, like, the secret ending of 0.2, or it may just be the actual ending, so it's probably a good job we're getting a refresher for old Hell Dragon over here. God knows he needs it.
Man, you know, one of the really awkward things about this game is that A, they explain a fuck out of a lot of stuff that's happened in the past, and B, I swear to God, oh, this game has an in-game wiki, and normally that normally doesn't throw me off that much, but there's literally a moment near the end of the game where everybody's comparing notes, and Jiminy looks at the camera and basically says that everybody should look at their phones for information about catching up. He literally tells you to read the fucking wiki. That's great.
First of all, he does not look at the camera. Second of all, okay, fair enough. He does say, you know what, just fucking look at your phones, it's fine.
Let's go.
I mean, I read the wiki before I started this game and the playthrough, so...
Yeah, good stuff, mate. I mean, you've spent time with Kingdom Hearts. You can probably glean what they're alluding to, even if you haven't played the necessary games and whatnot. And we're still in 0.2 territory here. How do you feel about how Donald and Goofy look in CG next to Sora?
You know, it doesn't really get into the uncanny valley that I thought it was gonna get. I think they look pretty good. Everybody still looks fairly cartoony. Some worlds, not as much as others. I don't think they don't necessarily work, but I think it's because, you know, Goofy and Donald are made of simpler shapes. I think it works out for the better.
Oh man, just draw a bunch of circles. There you go. Finish the picture. You've got Donald Duck.
These things take time.
Great, we should have put a GPS on Sora when we brought him back.
Oh, Goofy is going to utter the sacred, hollowed line in a second. At least I think he does. It's been a while since I've watched this cutscene. No flexing isn't going to make the Gummy ship go.
What did you expect? May your heart be your guiding key.
That's your lot, folks. Bye-bye.
What's that?
Yeah, it sounds cheap,
Master
like a
Yassim
Hallmark
always
card.
said that.
Better build the game around it.
Again, just watch back cover, you simpleton.
Really?
I may. We'll see.
Ring a bell?
Let's see, where do we need to go? Olympus Coliseum, perhaps? That's where we'll find a hero who once lost strength and regained it. GPS key activate!
Just point at the screen, hope it works out.
You can do it, kids. If you believe and clap along, Sora will find his way to the start of the game.
If you don't, he dies.
Well, let's just leave it there. Oh, it's so good to finally start Kingdom Hearts 3. I can't believe it. After all this time, no more spin-offs, no more side games. It feels great. What the fuck?!